This is no longer just a matter of diplomacy. This is now an explicit threat. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has stated that he is prepared to employ force to compel Ukraine to resume the operation of the Druzhba oil pipeline, while Russian missiles continue to strike the Ukrainian energy system. Budapest is now issuing a stern ultimatum to Kyiv. Either Russian oil flows freely to Hungary, or Ukraine will be cut off from receiving 90 billion euros in vital EU financial aid.
We will win, and we will win with great strength. We have political and financial tools, and with their help we will force them without any conditions, and preferably as soon as possible, to reopen the Druzhba oil pipeline. I want to make it absolutely clear that here we will achieve victory, and we will win by force. There will be no pacts here, no agreements. We will crush them, break the oil blockade, and force the Ukrainians to resume supplies. Not through a deal, not through an agreement, not through compromise, but by force we will achieve this.
How exactly does Orban plan to open an oil pipeline by force on the territory of a sovereign state? Why is he accusing President Zelenskyy of an oil blockade while completely ignoring Russian shelling? Today we will thoroughly break down Glavred's urgent report on the current peak of the conflict between Kyiv and Budapest. Make sure to watch until the very end. We will show Zelenskyy's tough response, in which he suggested that a certain individual speak directly with Ukrainian soldiers. And for more information, check out our report. My name is Yevhen Sirov. This is the Glavred channel. Subscribe and give us a like. Let's get started. The situation escalated on March 5th, 2026. At the Economic Forum, Orban delivered an unprecedentedly aggressive speech. Let me quote, "We will win, and we will win by force. We have political and financial tools, and with their help, we will force them to unconditionally open the Druzhba oil pipeline. No compromises, no deals. We will simply break this blockade." The Hungarian Prime Minister claims that satellite images supposedly do not show any critical damage, and that Ukraine is simply manipulating the situation to disrupt the elections in Hungary in April. Orban has effectively moved on to direct blackmail. He is blocking a 90 billion euro tranche from the EU until the oil starts flowing through the pipeline. Moreover, Budapest has hinted at stopping electricity supplies to Ukraine in the midst of the energy crisis. This is a real, intense energy war unfolding within Europe itself. But what is actually happening with the critical oil pipeline? Volodymyr Zelenskyy explained the situation. The key pumping station in Brody was severely damaged by a targeted Russian strike back in January. Ukraine can technically restore the transit capability in a month or a month and a half, but the issue is security. Who can possibly guarantee that the next Russian missile won't strike at the very moment the technicians finally finish the repairs? Zelenskyy has openly accused Orban and Slovak Prime Minister Fico of selfishness. Not once have they ever appealed to the Russians to stop striking the oil pipeline. Instead, they demand that Ukrainians risk their lives for their own comfort, the president emphasized. Ukraine has no desire to remain a hostage to Russian oil, which directly finances the war against us. However, the most interesting part is Zelenskyy's response to the threats made by Viktor Orban. The president of Ukraine made a statement that has already gone viral. You
know that we need to have a prepayment from the Ukrainian side regarding future aviation, specifically regarding Gripens and Rafales. Just yesterday, Mikhailo and I discussed this matter. We sincerely hope that a single individual in the European Union will not block the 90 billion euros, or even the first tranche of that 90 billion, and that Ukrainian soldiers will have the weapons they need. Otherwise, we will give this person's address to our armed forces, to our guys on the front lines. Let them call him and speak to him in their own language.
He hinted that if a certain individual in the EU does not stop blocking vital aid to Ukraine, he might provide the address and contact details of this person to the Ukrainian soldiers on the front line. They will then be able to call him and speak to him in their own native language, Zelenskyy said. The conflict around Druzhba has become a test of strength for the entire EU. Will Brussels be able to rein in Orban? Will Ukraine be forced to accept Budapest's terms under the pressure of financial starvation? What do you think about all this? Write in the comments.